Without see-through material like glass, it'd be terrible. Having something be see-through is really important. It's so important that we even give see-through its own fancy word, transparent, which means lets light through. Like if we didn't have glass, we wouldn't be able to have windows that let light through to our homes or schools or buildings during the daytime. It'd be all dark and gloomy inside. Kind of sad. Or imagine if we couldn't let light into our cars. If we didn't have windshields. To see where they're going, the driver would have to stick their head out of the car. That would make it so hard to drive. But you know what? We actually haven't always had things that are see-through. See-through materials like glass had to be invented. Before they were invented, most people's homes didn't have windows. Think of how dark it would have been inside this house. These homes were completely made of materials that weren't see-through. Materials like wood or stone. These are not see-through. The fancy word for this is opaque, but I'll keep saying not see-through for now. I'll bet you can think of other examples of things that are not see-through or opaque, like a metal pan or what the walls are made of in your house. So, a long time ago, when wood and stone and metal were the only materials that people had, houses couldn't have windows because none of those materials are see-through. But the very first windows weren't actually made of glass. Before glass was invented, people had discovered something special. Take a look at this. People discovered rocks that were made of this stuff. If you're curious, it's called mica. You can see that mica peels off in layers or sheets using a tool. Now, there's something to notice about this. Watch what happens if I take a piece of mica and I put my hand behind it. Look, notice how you can kind of see my fingers? It's a bit blurry and hard to see, but mica is kind of see-through. Scientists call this translucent. So if people could find mica, instead of having dark houses, people could make the very first kind of windows. Do you see how it lets light into the room? But it's still kind of blurry. You can't see clearly outside since mica is only kind of see-through. So what about the windows we have today? Who discovered glass? Glass was invented a long time ago, so long ago that we don't even know the person's name. All we know is that someone had the idea to put sand into a really hot oven. Yeah, sand, like at the beach. Here's someone today who does this. What happens when you put sand in a really hot oven? Well, once the sand gets hot enough, it melts. And you can see, look here, it looks a lot like lava, doesn't it? Now that it's melted, then you can pour the melted sand like this. And then once it cools off, it does become hard and see-through. It becomes glass. This is a window being made. See right there? But you could have made it into any shape, even into glass bottles like this. So once people discovered that they could melt sand to make glass, we could have the first totally see-through windows. Take a look around you now. All the glass you see was once sand that had to be melted. Thank goodness for whoever discovered this strange fact about sand, because this is how we have windows, but also windshields, eyeglasses, and anything made of glass. So we've seen that in terms of how see-through something is, there's not see-through, materials like wood, there's kind of see-through, like the first types of windows, and there's completely see-through, like today's glass windows. But is glass the only thing that's completely see-through? Well, go find out for yourself. In a minute, you'll get a pile of materials and 3 pieces of paper to sort the materials onto. You're going to look through each material. If you can see clearly through a material, it's see-through or transparent. So you'll put it there. If you can't see anything through a material, then it's not see-through. So you'll put it there. And if you can see through material just a little bit, maybe you see some blurry shapes or a little light coming through, then that material is just kind of see-through, so you'll put it there. If you're in a class, you'll sort the materials you get with a few friends in a group.